A member of the opposition People's National Party (PNP) is calling on the government to expand Bellevue Hospital. Councillor for the Trafalgar Division, Jessie James Clarke, warns that the country's largest psychiatric facility has reached its capacity. Details in this report.
Bellevue Hospital currently accommodates approximately 400 patients across its 23 wards. Councillor for the Trafalgar Division, Jessie James Clarke, says the facility is no longer able to keep pace with the growing demand for mental health services. His call comes amid ongoing efforts to strengthen Jamaica's healthcare infrastructure and improve access to mental health services.
Based on my experience in El Paso, Texas, where they extended the training time for their police officers to ensure that they are able to deal with mental health, persons suffering from any type of mental health condition. That's something that I would want to see happen locally, where we extend the training time for our police officers to ensure that not just some of them, but all of them have extensive training in dealing with mentally ill personnel.
Mr. Clarke is also urging the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, to increase specialized training for officers responding to mental health crises.
So what I want, one, is to have a special team that integrates both police officers and the mental health team so they can coordinate and work together as one. And also I want all officers to be trained in dealing with persons with mental health, because just being on the road day to day, you're going to encounter persons, whether diagnosed or undiagnosed, with particular mental health issues. So I think that is something that should be done for their training.
The councillor says the challenges extend beyond policing, arguing that mental health teams also need additional resources to respond more effectively to people in crisis.
I know that they need way more support than they have, because it's a strain on the persons working on the mental health team in terms of they need more staffing, they also need more transportation, because just to put it into context, just to collect one person who is in crisis can sometimes take hours just for one person. So when you have a team that is working overtime after regular work hours, it's very difficult for them to collect all the persons that they need to serve the population in an effective manner. And something else that I love to see change at the mental health unit is when you report somebody who is in crisis, if they're not able to call the person on that particular day, they basically start over with a fresh list the new day. So you have to report the person again or make the report again. So I love for them to have a continuous list.
Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has consistently maintained that the government's approach is not to expand Bellevue Hospital by simply adding more beds. Instead, he said the focus is on transforming the facility while strengthening community-based mental health services, reducing reliance on long-term institutional care rather than enlarging the traditional psychiatric hospital. Ania Bryant, TVJ News.
Amid growing concerns about the risk of females developing cervical cancer, there's once again a call for young girls aged 14 years and older to be immunized with the HPV vaccine. Chief Medical Officer of Health for Manchester, Dr. Nadine Williams, made the call at a Rotary Club meeting in Mandeville recently.
We find that there is some hesitancy with the HPV vaccine. It is given it is recommended that it's given between 9 to 14 years of age to males and females. We go up to 26 years in Jamaica for the females. And we know it is very effective in preventing cervical cancer, which is one of the leading cause of cancer deaths in females in Jamaica. So if we can ensure that as many of our girls are immunized by the age of 14 years old, then in some years from now, our cervical cancer rate and death from cervical cancer should drastically fall.
Dr. Williams also shared that for varying reasons, many women are not doing their pap smear tests and is urging them to get the tests done.
It is a big deterrent. And we have done studies on that as well, surveys of the population. Why is it that you're not getting your pap smear test done? And one of the things is that there's a fear of pain. Sometimes there's a fear of the unknown as well. They don't want to know. They don't want to know they have cancer, so they rather not do the test. Even in our health centers, they'll come and then when they're finished and they say, what, that's it? I thought it was going to be painful. And then they realize it's really just what they hear from other people.
It's time for a break here on the Midday News, but do stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute. Hurricane Melissa took out a sizable portion of Jamaica's hotel room stock, but according to Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett, it has not knocked the island off travelers' radar. Minister Bartlett admits, however, this summer is unlikely to match last year's performance. The growth of the market comes as several of Montego Bay's largest hotels continue extensive repairs and reconstruction, with some promising major upgrades in the coming months. Further afield, for the first time, the European Union is fining Google under its landmark Digital Markets Act. The EU is demanding about $1 billion for 2 alleged misdemeanors. The European Commission accuses Google of using its search engine to promote its own services over those of competitors. It also alleges it keeps some app developers from making cheaper offers to customers in the Google Play App Store. Google has 60 days to implement changes that address the Commission's concerns. Google, in a statement, claims doing so could affect search features users enjoy and strip away Google Play safety protections. And that's it for the Business Minute. Time now for the top stories from around the world.
In the region, search, rescue and recovery efforts following the capsizing of the MV Bariba have intensified, with personnel and maritime assets from the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Brazilian Navy joining the Guyana-led operation. 19 vessels and 3 aircraft are now involved in the search. 3 more bodies have been recovered, bringing the death toll to 65, while the number of survivors remains at 76. President Mohamed Irfan Ali has declared 3 days of national mourning as recovery efforts continue. And on the international scene, widespread flooding from Tropical Storm Bertha has left a trail of destruction across West Virginia, with officials focusing on search and rescue efforts. More than 500 National Guard troops have been deployed, while emergency crews have carried out over 100 rescues. Aerial footage shows washed-out roads and flooded communities. Meanwhile, forecasters warn the storm system will continue to impact Virginia and the southeastern United States through the end of the week, with additional flooding fueled by moisture from Tropical Storm Bertha. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Aaliyah Bryant.
Thank you, Aaliyah. We now head to our final break, but when we come back, we'll have your Midday Sports Report.